What's up, guys? Bryce Lewis with Strength Athlete here. Eric and I decided to pull a last-minute mock meet just to kind of test where things were the last time before nationals in like 11-something weeks, just to get a feel for where my second and third attempts might be, because over the course of this prep for the meet, I've dropped 15 pounds. Leverages may have changed, and in fact, they probably did. And generally, I just wanted to get a feel for where I'm at, because personally, as far as technique goes, I'm able to really grind singles out if things are kind of going according to plan. Case in point being December 31st, I pulled a 720 and hadn't touched anything close to that before, so it just kind of came out of nowhere, and I have a feeling it was just because of the excellent atmosphere at Barbell Brigade, loud music, people cheering you on, and just a good vibe. So it's hard to say really what contributes to a good lift, and it's definitely more than just you being strong enough. It's you kind of being in the moment and everything going well and things clicking. And there are certainly cases where you might be strong enough on the day, but something else goes wrong, like it did today, probably. I mean, I had planned to work on up to maybe 605, 610 for a single on the squat here, and as you'll see a little bit later, things didn't go according to plan. I ended up hitting a chalk container on the way down, which threw me out of my groove, and I had to restabilize at the bottom and finish the lift off. Good news is that I'm not hurt, but I had planned for better, and it kind of just set a tone for the day, and really wiped me out for anything later on squats and anything for deadlifts. So not going so hot there. The great news is that bench press is going extremely well. With a combination of working on technique with Dan and Jen Goodrow here at RMLC, and purely getting stronger, that's looking good. And at 15 pounds lighter than I tested last, I set a 5-pound PR. So today I set a 425 bench PR, which bodes well for nationals, because right now I'm sitting at 206 on average, which is within striking distance of weigh-in. So just another few pounds to go, and then we can either stay at maintenance or slightly increase. Which leads me to talk about calories and caloric manipulations for a powerlifter. I do believe that if you're an intermediate to advanced level lifter, that tracking calories on a daily and weekly basis is a great idea, and oftentimes that's kind of overlooked. People end up talking a ton about nutrition and not so much about carbs, fats, and proteins. And maybe because they realize like somehow powerlifters are different than other strength sports or than bodybuilding, where body composition is important. But if you're in a class with weigh-ins and you're not in super heavyweight, it's an excellent idea, and it's going to help you both maintain energy levels and just not have to kill yourself when it comes time to weighing in. This will be the first time that I gave myself enough time to weigh in where I won't really have to do anything drastic at all. I'm just going to have to probably eat up into the meat, and that's it. So there are some nice benefits of being on weight for a meet. So here's where I hit the Tropicana container. Things freak out. I stabilize. Again, lucky, no injuries. Yeah, I'm pretty blessed when it comes to that. So this weight normally goes up very fast. I can hit this for doubles and triples on a good day. Doubles on an okay day, triples on a good day. But there's a container, and luckily I had some awesome spotters, and had some great people come out to the gym today. That's Corey Vericker on the left, and a friend of Ray and Chrissy Schaefer on the right there. And Brian Minor came out with one of his clients. It was just a good vibe in the gym. Really nice to have some people along that are beastly strong and at no training. Corey and I were taking turns on the bench press, and he makes me look weak with his 425 doubles. And Brian was doing excellently with some bench pin presses and deadlifts. So it's a fun day overall. By the time it came to this 585, I just had nothing left in the tank, so not really a whole bunch to give here. Let's talk a little bit about mock meets in general, because I'm hosting one coming up, so kind of a good idea for some athletes to realize, hey, this is a chance for me to test my 1-rep maxes. In general, it's a good idea to incorporate these maybe every 12 to 20 weeks just as a measure of progress. And you don't necessarily have to work up to a true 1-rep max, especially as, well, in your training plan, that should extend about a year forward from where you are to where you are maybe presently. It's a good idea to test every once in a while so that you can just see how things are going. Do I need to change anything? And just get a temperature thermometer read on what the situation is with training. And for more experienced athletes, it's not necessary to really test 1-rep maxes. Maybe you can test what your second attempt is or what an RPE 9.5 feels like, and all of that can be incorporated into training. So as far as bench press goes, I've really been working on getting tight and using hip drive, and that's something, like I alluded to before, Dan and Jen have been helping me out with quite a lot, to the point where I realized, man, I can push my hips up a lot harder and higher than I thought that I could before and still keep my glutes on the bench. So yeah, I mean, obviously for USAPL, we're looking for the glutes, the feet, the shoulders, and the head all to be on the bench. So I've been working under those constraints, and it feels very strong. So I think last week I benched 355 for 5, which really felt good. So that was the end of an intensity block. And in my training, intensity blocks are characterized by higher RPEs and generally lower reps. RPE stands for rate of perceived exertion. And Eric Bothorn from The Strength Athlete, we were putting out a video kind of explaining RPE, fatigue percents, and auto-regulation for those that have heard these words but don't necessarily know what they mean. And I think that's something that's really needed. So again, what I'm trying to do as far as technique goes is get past the bench, use my arms to set myself. So I'm setting my feet first, then pulling myself through the bench, then getting my shoulders set, grabbing the bar, and then finally getting that lift off. And it's a good idea, and this is something that I've had to tell my athletes over time. You want to set the rack as close to your lockout as possible so that you have to do as little work to pull the bar out. That ends up being a huge thing, especially for athletes as the weight gets heavier. And having a lift-off really makes things, having a good lift-off, I'll say, makes things a lot easier and takes some of the work out for you as an athlete. So Corey here is giving me a lift-off and pulls up, out a little bit, and then lets go. And that's just excellent for me. So there's a 405. I'm benching with my middle fingers on the ring. Things are feeling pretty good, and benching elevated heels as well to allow me to pull my feet back just a little bit further. My ankle mobility isn't all that great, so I can't really tuck back any further, but this feels good. So here's the only PR for the day, and I'll take it, honestly. Being 15 pounds lighter and starting this off at 220 and finishing up now at 206 on average before we drop a little bit further, I'm happy with having increased strength up until this point.
Press.
So yeah, full pause, and obviously it starts to stick a little bit around the point for raw benchers where we'd expect a sticking point, but yeah, I'm happy with that. So again, like I said before, just nothing left in the tank for deadlifts. And instead of commenting about deadlifts, I'll just comment about technique in general. We can build good technique, and it's no surprise that I love to talk about technique and assess technique in my athletes, but it's not something that you can just check off. So, okay, great technique on deadlift, done, next. No, I mean, it's something that you have to build through reps, and it's also something that can go away and can change. I mean, I've seen times where my deadlift technique is better than this. I don't know what's going on with my head. You know, it just doesn't feel quite right. I don't know where to look. So I mean, I can look back at videos where it's felt better, but yeah, technique is something that can come and go, and it's a tool that you use, and just something that has to be built and upkept. So don't just settle for good technique. Settle for keeping it and refining it over years and years. And I'm looking to just make it known that powerlifting is a sport that you can succeed in for a very, very long time and have fun with too. No need to get injured and just be done with it. Stay healthy and enjoy the sport for a long time. That's it this week, guys. More next week from Eric and Reed.